Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Industry 101 video for the construction industry, presented by West Michigan Works Construction Careers Council. My name is Jason, the Industry Council Lead for the construction industry at West Michigan Works, and I'm going to be here to discuss what the industry is all about. So, to kick things off, we're going to kind of go over the agenda for this presentation. I'm going to talk a little bit about me and my career path, my educational background, my work background, and how I found my passion in the construction industry. We're going to dive deeper into what makes up the industry as a whole. We're going to uncover some common misconceptions about the construction industry. We're going to play a little game focused on the careers in the industry as well as their salaries. And then we're going to dive deeper into the different career paths, what it's going to take to get into the industry, whether it be entry level, apprenticeships, or a college education. And then we're going to end by providing some information in case you have some questions, you can reach out to me. So, a little bit about me. I currently have a bachelor's degree with a dual major of business administration as well as communications from Aquinas College. How I got that degree started at GRCC, where I essentially thought I wanted to be an accountant. After pursuing that accounting degree, I ultimately switched paths when I was going to school at Aquinas to where I got my degree in business administrations and communications. As far as my career path goes, I ultimately got my first job at GRCC. In high school, I wasn't the best at school. I'd be considered what you would call a C student at best. However, when I started going to school at GRCC, I found out that I was really well and I started to excel at the various programs and classes they offered, where I ultimately became a tutor covering some of those classes, such as accounting, science, math, English, and so on. Um, After completing my GRCC degree, I got my first job at JW Marriott as the floor supervisor for the housekeeping department within the hospitality industry. Um, Here, I was in charge of a team of housekeepers, making sure that the rooms were kept to standard, as well as providing outstanding customer service. Um, I was doing this while going full time at Aquinas College, and then about a year into that, I found out that school was getting really expensive and I wasn't able to afford completely. So I wanted to find another way to kind of help subsidize that, where I found a career path within the Michigan Army National Guard. I enlisted as a 25 Quebec, which is a multi-channel transmission systems operator. Um, Basically a big title that means that I worked on any piece of equipment that talked to another piece of equipment. So when you're thinking about your radios, your cell phones, the internet communications such as emails, I was able to provide those services to the various service members that would need those out on the battlefield. A benefit of this, ultimately, by enlisting in the National Guard, they were able to pay for the rest of my degree for free. Um, and then, as I was a senior in Aquinas College, I took my first step into the construction industry with a company called Weaver's Consultants Group as a field service technician, where we would build landfills. Essentially, what I would be doing is before we put the waste into the landfill, we had to make sure that everything was environmentally friendly. So we would create a liner in between the actual ground and where the trash was going to be sitting to make sure that nothing seeped into the soil, contaminating that soil or the groundwater. But we would ultimately capture that as well and produce renewable energy to help power some of the facilities around that area too. Um, Ultimately, I decided that this wasn't the best career choice for me as it involved a lot of traveling. This first job was in Detroit. The second one was going to be in Tennessee. And as I was pursuing my degree, I didn't want to leave the area just yet, as I wanted to complete it before anything happened. That's where I took my next role at AT&T as a retail sales consultant, where I was able to sell the various services that the company provided, such as cell phones, TV, and internet. About a year and a half after doing that full time, I was able to complete my degree, and then I actually started pursuing more into the National Guard careers, where I was working part time about 2 to 3 weeks, completing various missions at the Armory or different locations there, as well as going back to AT&T for another 2 to 3 weeks, and just kind of hip hopping back and forth, where I ultimately went full time into the National Guard and um, Did that until my contract with the military was completed around 2021, where I ultimately stepped foot into West Michigan Works as a business solutions representative. I then transitioned to a project coordinator, where I then became industry council lead for construction. And I know what you're thinking, right? I was all over the place. My path was like a winding trail where I was starting out in hospitality, and then I went over to construction, and then I went to IT, and then went back to essentially construction here. And what it all stemmed from is where I found my passion as to why I wanted to get back into the industry is thinking going back to when I started in the construction industry, that was the most fun I was having as well as the most money I was making. So when the opportunity came up at West Michigan Works to where I was able to advocate for the industry, I jumped right onto it, and I'm really happy to be able to do videos like this to kind of share more about the industry as a whole. So moving into the next topic, what exactly is construction? So the construction industry is a huge topic that covers almost every job out there. But just about in every construction project, this can be broken down into three main categories. So not necessarily the specific careers that go into it, but the types of projects that the careers will be working on. The first one is residential construction. This is the process of building, renovating, or repairing structures that are intended to be lived in, such as houses, apartments, and townhomes. So when you think about a residential construction project, there are a number of different careers that are needed to complete this project. So starting out with the foundation, you're going to need your concrete pourers and finishers, and then building the house with the framers, and then the siding experts, the roofers, and then getting on the inside, you have drywall, plumbing, electrical, flooring, your carpentry finishers, all these different careers that go into building a home that not a lot of people think about. But when we're talking about the finished product being a structure that is intended to be lived in, that's what we're talking about residential construction. The next one is commercial construction, and this is the process of building, renovating, or designing structures for commercial uses such as offices, retail stores, and warehouses. And these are essentially the same careers that would go into residential, would go into a commercial construction project. The only difference is we have what you call the building code, which is a set of rules that each different local government create to make sure that the structures being built are going to last for a long time and they're safe for the people using them. And the big difference between residential and commercial construction would be the application of those codes. So for commercial construction, these products are going to get a lot more wear and tear. So they're built a little more sturdy compared to a residential building. So then lastly, we have our industrial construction, which is the design, construction, and maintenance of facilities used for manufacturing and other industrial processes. This includes things such as factories, warehouses, power plants, as well as specialized structures. The big one about this one is a lot of the rules from construction, commercial and residential construction apply to this as well. However, you get that additional aspect of maintaining the facilities. So when we have these big companies such as Amazon using a warehouse, they need people to come in to make sure that the electrical is running, the water is running, and all those other different aspects to ensure that the business can operate as designed. And that's kind of the additional aspect that comes into this field here. I would like to now play a little video that kind of gives a little more insight about the industry as a whole.
There is a lot of building going on in West Michigan right now, and a lot more planned in the future. It takes a lot of skilled people working together to make it happen. Careers in construction are hot, hot, hot. There aren't enough skilled workers to fill all the positions. If you're into hard hats, hammers, or heavy equipment, there are good paying jobs right out of high school. And with a couple years of training, skilled trades like welding, plumbing, and electrical offer great job security.
Yeah, because if I look at the camera I get like more shy.
My name is Parker Slaw. I'm the current drywall foreman.
My name's Dan Genema. I'm the senior field manager on site.
Hey, so my name is Yulisa Andrade and I am in Fire Step.
There's this old school mentality of construction, dirty hands and dirty clothes and dirty people, you know, and it's not that. It's not that anymore for sure.
You can make a great living doing construction. You know, the stigma is, well, it's just construction, it's kind of a low-paying job, but that's not the case. You can definitely find some high-pay, good quality jobs with great benefits. The industry is always looking for new talent and people willing to work and learn.
I started off as just a general laborer in the paint division. From there, I was surrounded by a group of individuals with a lot of knowledge, and I took every last bit of that and kind of soaked it up.
Well, I was actually pursuing a finance degree in college, picked up a summer job with a local construction company, fell in love with it, loved working with my hands, worked as a carpenter for many years, and eventually worked into a leadership position.
The training that we get is basically hands-on.
A lot of what you learn in this industry is learning on the job. Most people learn the best actually doing the task, right? We're intentional about putting new people with experienced people.
I was motivated and eager to learn. That motivation gets me here on time, gets me to show up, gets me excited every day. You know, you don't need to go to college, and this is an opportunity. And you can use this as a stepping stone, and you get into a construction company, you get this wealth of knowledge, you work with your hands, you learn something new, a trade, and you carry that through your entire life.
Not every task is going to be glamorous. There'll be times when the job you're doing is tough, but the level of satisfaction you get from a job well done is unlike anything in any industry.
So a really cool thing about being in construction is the people you meet. You meet everybody from all aspects of life. You know, I've met some of my best friends through construction.
The coolest thing that I've experienced is to learn how to use a hand tool. The first time that I used the hand tool, I was like, oh man, I feel like a badass. I'm like, oh, this is cool.
The cool thing about West Michigan is it's a small group of people, right? The electrician on site, I've been able to work with him for the last 4 years. That doesn't get to happen everywhere else.
What I really like about this job is that I get to be more active. Every single day I don't go to the gym, so a lot of people can relate to that, and just meeting new people every single day.
So I've been fortunate to be handed the opportunity to do a lot of travel. I got to do a really cool kind of custom building down in West Palm Beach, Florida. I spent about 3 months down there. Then I went from there to Key West. When you're traveling, you're usually traveling with some top-notch guys, and you're learning really fast and learning to be really efficient.
A few skills that you need to work in this industry is obviously being good at communicating, being able to work with your hands, you got to be able to do some basic math. The biggest advice I could give somebody who's just getting into construction is watch the people who have been doing it, right? You learn by watching and asking questions. It's okay to ask questions and how to do things.
Being young, looking towards the older guys that have been around it for years, you know, it's awesome. Like, oh yeah, you know, I worked on this project 30 years ago and I'm back here remodeling it or doing an addition on it.
You know, you put your head down, you work hard, good things will happen. You do the task at hand to the best of your ability, the rest will take care of itself.
I'd say just don't be scared, take the opportunity. You know, the same way that you would do a job shadow or a mock interview, do the same with us. Give us construction guys a chance to get you on site and show you a little bit about what we're about.
We hope you guys learned a little about construction. For more information about career opportunities near you, check out westmiworks.org.
So let's just take some time and reflect about what we just watched and what we learned previously about what the construction industry is, and how did that differ from what you thought before you got this information. Essentially, we were able to learn about the different types of the industry as well as different perspectives. So as we move on, let's just keep that in mind and think about exactly, you know, what it was and what it is. And that's where we go into our next slide of common misconceptions within the industry. So as you heard from the video, there was a lot of different misconceptions that were talked about. And these are exactly what they sound like. So a misconception is what it is, but that's what it is, right? It's not true. Um, when we're talking about, when you hear those things like construction careers are not for women, well, I invite you to take a second to view our website, the constructioncareerscouncil.org, and then go on to our blog where you can see the stories of over a dozen women who have been in the industry for, 10 to 15 years, and their stories on where they are, how they got there, and what the industry has done for them. Well, additionally, the industry needs women within the field. They provide an advanced perspective that men just don't necessarily have, and having that collaboration between everybody, the industry is stronger than it has been forever. Next is there's no place for tech and innovation for construction. And this couldn't be further from the truth. Every single day you hear about how the construction industry is adapting new things such as AI, or they're creating new equipment such as drones to help making those jobs easier. Also, you have the construction industry is only for those who cannot cut it in the cloud. Once again, this is not true at all. We're going to dive deeper into more positions and exactly what it takes to get into those positions here in a second. But when we're talking about for those who cannot cut it in the classroom, that is true for some of the jobs, right? You don't necessarily need to get a college education to enter the construction field. However, the majority of the jobs do require you to further your studies after high school. Then that also leads into construction work is dirty. I'm not going to lie, this one is true for some careers, but that's a small piece of the pie. There are a lot of different jobs within the construction industry, and we'll dive deeper into those as well. But just know that not all construction work is dirty work. And then lastly, construction careers are primarily skilled trades. Once again, not necessarily true for everything. The trades only make up a small portion of the jobs that are out there. So please do not think of the construction industry as just those trades. There are a number of different aspects, such as support staff to office staff, as well as the trades that go into a construction career. So one misconception that's not listed here is that you can't make a lot of money in the construction industry. This is why we're going to play a little game called Price is Right. What we're going to do is take a look at 7 high demand careers here in West Michigan. I will go over exactly what it takes to become one of these people in these positions. And while I do that, I want you to take some time and write down on a little notepad what you think someone might be making starting out in this career and after they've been in this role for a long time. Once I finish going over the requirements, we'll go over these salaries and see how close we were. So, going to our first career, the construction manager. This is a great career for someone who loves to constantly learn new things, communicate with others, and is well organized. A typical day in the life is going to be managing construction activities on the job site, creating plans, working on budgets, and making sure the job gets done right. This is going to be a higher level position that requires a lot of work-related skill and experience, usually 5 or more years, and a bachelor's degree that's related to the field. So let's just take some time, write down what you think a construction manager would make starting out, either hourly or salary, which would be the entire income for the full year. And then maybe think about what someone who's been in that role for 3, 4, 5 years would be making afterwards. Our next position would be roofers. This is a great opportunity for someone who enjoys working outdoors. They're not afraid of heights and they like using their hands. A typical day in the life of a roofer involves working with a team, handling and moving objects, climbing up and down ladders, and installing roofing materials. This is an entry-level position that usually requires a high school degree with little to no work experience. Once again, take some time and write down what you think someone might make. Next, we have our maintenance and repair workers. This is a job for someone who loves to fix things, solve problems, and they're good at math. A typical day may involve inspecting equipment to determine the problems, replacing damaged parts, or testing equipment to make sure it's working properly. Most careers in this role require a certificate associate's degree, or a few years of related on-the-job experience. Moving on to electricians, this is going to be your technical job that's pretty physically demanding. You're going to do a lot of troubleshooting and reading blueprints. You can expect to be on a job site where you're going to be running wire to install electrical equipment such as lights and outlets, and troubleshooting and repairing various electrical equipment as well. This job will require you to have at least 2 years prior experience, a related associate's degree, and license through the state, which would be usually obtained through completing an apprenticeship program. Next, we have plumbers, pipe fitters, and steam fitters, all kind of grouped into one category here. And these roles are going to be for someone who enjoys critical thinking, repairing machines, and making decisions. Typically, they will be on a job site working on various equipment that use either water or gas, assembling the pipes that get them to work. And then most jobs in this area will need at least 2 years of on-the-job training, as well as a related associate's degree. Next, we have our architectural and engineering managers. Individuals in this role enjoy math, engineering, and management skills such as planning, leadership, and coordinating. This role is typically an office role where you'll be managing projects using several computer applications such as CAD, which is a computer-aided design software. This will be an advanced career, requires at least a master's degree and over 5 years of work experience. Lastly, we have our first line supervisors of construction trades and extraction workers. This role is for someone who enjoys leading the team, has good attention to detail, and is dependable. As a supervisor, you can inspect others' work to ensure it's been properly completed, supervise the team members, reading blueprints to create the tasks for those individuals as well. Typically, a supervisor will have 1 to 2 years of on-the-job training, at least an associate's degree, and in a related field of study. So, now that we know about each role, let's uncover these salaries. So, check it out here. If you look at my mouse, you can see that for the construction manager, their hourly wage starting off is typically around $35 an hour, and they can make usually up to $74 an hour. Or salary-wise, we're looking at $73,000 a year, up to $154,000 a year. And these are huge numbers, huge numbers. We're talking different salaries within each career here. So if you guess somewhere in between the range, go ahead and give yourself a point. But I want you to know that the construction industry is largely skill-based. The longer you do something, the more you'll be getting paid. And that is why you can see such a large difference in the amount someone may have for just entering in a role or has been there for a long time. Almost all of these careers will allow you to live a comfortable life and do things like own a home, a car, or even go on yearly vacations. So now we know what someone in these careers will make, let's take a good look about how we can get into some of these careers. And I hope after seeing these dollar signs, you might be asking yourself, what do I need to do to join the industry? So when looking into a career in construction, the most common pathways can involve either an entry-level, apprenticeship, or a college degree. An entry-level career is going to be limited or no experience within the construction industry, yet you come to the job site with an excellent attitude, a willingness to learn, work hard, and improve your own skills. An apprenticeship is going to be a combination of both on-the-job training experience as well as an education that's going to be paid for by your employer. Then lastly, we have our college degree. This is an academic title you will receive after completing a 2 to 4 year program, which is going to be focused on the construction industry. So let's dive a little deeper into what these career paths mean. So for an entry-level career, as mentioned earlier, this is going to require minimal experience. So when we're looking at some of these careers such as landscaping, construction laborers, roofers, or even cement masons and concrete finishers, these, generally speaking, are going to be entry-level careers. However, if you look at the salaries described up above, these are the median salaries, which is nothing to laugh about. I mean, you could expect to make somewhere around this number as it's the median number, but just depending on your specific need, you could be making more or less. So when we're talking about these jobs, They're going to be your manual labor type careers, sometimes referred to as the dirty jobs, as we've heard before. You can expect to experience almost an initiation ritual where you'll be able to prove your commitment to the job. And this will be your time to shine and show everybody that you can hang out with the veterans. Once proven, you can ensure that you will be fully initiated into the team and find a bond with your peers unlike any other industry. Additionally, these are great for what they are, as someone's foot in the door into a long career in the construction industry. Typically, you can expect to work longer days in these positions, with days lasting up to 8 to 10 hours long. However, I would like to mention that if you're working over 40 hours in a week, you will be compensated extra, as companies pay what they call time and a half for any hours that you work over 40. And lastly, not lastly, but unlike other industries, an entry-level career in the construction industry has plenty of room for growth, as many of these individuals who start here end up as a supervisor or in a leadership role with a salary that could potentially double these numbers in a few short years. These careers will provide you with the foundation on what it takes to complete projects. As you stay in your role longer, you may get more exposure and on more advanced level skills or duties, helping you grow in the future. Or if you decide to take a different path, skills learned such as communication, coordination, mechanical knowledge, and many more can be easily transferred to other industries. So I also want to go over some additional reasons you might want to get started right after high school. So first and foremost, great pay. Most of these entry-level construction careers are going to be equal or greater than the median salary for some of these careers that require a 4-year degree. You're going to get all the benefits you would get, such as a 401k, your medical benefits, and vacation days. There's huge potential for growth. As mentioned earlier, the longer you are in the industry, the more you're going to get paid. So why not just start sooner? You're going to learn new things. As you get started, you're going to be exposed to a variety of different tasks and skills. From there, you're free to forge your own path and focus on what you enjoy most. And lastly, no debt. If you can earn a good salary without taking on student loans, why not? This is going to free up more funds for things such as a new car or home as you begin your adult life. So I can go on and list 100 more reasons why these entry-level careers are a great path to choose, but we're going to go on, for time's sake, onto apprenticeships. Apprenticeships usually are your technical jobs, such as, but not limited to, electricians, plumbers, and welders. With an ever-growing list of careers that fall into this bucket, I like to describe these as your earn and learn careers. Typically, a program is going to take 1 to 5 years to complete, but you will get an opportunity to work directly with an assigned mentor to perform your on-the-job training activities while getting paid to attend school to obtain an associate's degree or a related technical certification. And the easiest way to get connected into one of these programs is to either contact your local union office, reach out to your local community college, or research employers who may have apprenticeship opportunities. Some of these careers, such as electricians, plumbers, and welders, their median salary can range from $50,000 to $60,000 a year. And once you're going to be, and these are once again going to be your more hands-on types roles, mixed in with some complex problem solving and math applications, making them more of a beginner to mid-level career choice. However, the main difference is when you enter this career right out of high school with little to no experience, unlike other industries where you may need to get a 4-year degree to start making this type of money, you're going to be doing so, which is nothing to laugh about, because by the time you complete your program, you're going to be making substantially more than your peers who may have chosen to go to college. And while they're paying off student loans or looking at their first apartment, you'll most likely already have purchased a new truck or possibly a new house. And, these are also the roles that they may require some longer hours. So just think about that as well, that when you are pursuing a career in the apprenticeships, that it's going to be tough work that's going to be physically demanding as well as mentally challenging. Some additional benefits for these programs is you'll be obtaining real work experience. So while in the program, you'll be doing the job you're studying. Unlike a lot of different programs out there, you're going to have real experience that you can have on your resume by the time you complete the program. your earn and learn opportunities. So, as mentioned, most of these apprentices are going to start off making $50,000 a year or more. And by the end of the 5 years, it's very likely you're going to be making deep into the six figures. So, you'll also have an opportunity that could potentially lead to you owning your own business. So the opportunities for earning is unlimited. Additionally, you'll be getting industry recognized qualifications. These programs often lead to a number of different certifications, as well as college credits that you can take on to any industry you choose to be. You'll have faster entry into the workforce. So even though a job isn't guaranteed, you will still be a highly skilled worker once you complete your program, making it a lot easier to find a job in that field. You'll have no debt. Once again, most of these programs will be cheap or paid for by an employer. And lastly, job security. As the apprenticeships are developed, they keep in mind that these are going to be high demand, long-lasting careers. And a career path in this world is likely to lead to full-time employment for the rest of your working life. Now, let's move on to the last path, which is going to be a career that requires a college degree. So, as shown early, some of the careers with the highest earning potential, such as architects, managers, supervisors, do require a college degree. If you want to make sure you can earn the most in your life while you're pursuing your career, you may want to reach out to this option here for a number of different reasons. There are going to be a large amount of jobs that you can pursue after getting a degree. And also, when you obtain a degree in construction, you're often sought after by the best companies who offer the best pay. They're involved in the largest projects and offer a number of different things outside of the job site, such as IT, HR, or management. As we dive deeper into some of these careers, we can look into, you have your construction managers, your civil engineers, your architects, and IT. These are all careers that do require a college degree. And these are going to be your typical jobs that offer 9 to 5 office settings, working 40 hours a week. However, there can be outside site visits or overtime as needed. These skills are going to be easy to transfer to other industries, such as problem solving, understanding computer applications, attention to detail, leadership. These are all things that you're going to be able to bring with you, as well as the credentials that you've earned. These careers offer a very competitive salary, where the average is above $70,000 a year, making the degree well worth the investment. Construction managers make on average, on the median side of things, around $104,000 a year. Civil engineers, $95,000, architects, $93,000. And then if you want to go into IT, even on the construction side, you're going to be making close to $120,000 a year. Additionally, there's internship opportunities while you're studying for your degree, which are professional learning experiences that provide you with real life work experience offered by employers. This gives you an opportunity to explore and develop yourself within the career and learn new skills while getting paid. And then lastly, networking. So most of the college professors will have been in the industry for 10 plus years. This gives you additional resources for your benefit that can help you guide you to the right companies, develop the right skills, and meet the right people to get your career started. So to reiterate, there is more than one way to get into the construction industry. When you join right after high school directly into a workforce through an apprenticeship program, or if you decide to attend a four-year university, there's no wrong way to do it. These are just some of the paths you can take. The important thing to do is research as to what fits your personality best. Some people may like a more hands-on approach, others may enjoy the books, but it's important for you to look into what options that suit you the best so it can help you get to where you need to be in the end. So just to summarize, why would you want to work into the construction industry? Well, these careers provide some of the highest salaries, and if you've driven on our roads recently, you know that there's no shortage of work. These high demand careers, especially in Michigan, with tens and thousands of opportunities here, they will continue to grow and grow year over year. If you like to be outside, live an active, healthy lifestyle, these are great opportunities to incorporate that in your work life as well. But just a reminder, not every career in the construction industry fits this. But you can also, another thing is that you can be a part of large projects that change people's lives every day. You could be part of projects such as building a hospital that helps save lives, designing a stadium that brings joy to thousands, or fixing roads, ensuring that people can get to work to make their livings. There are hundreds of different little projects that make a huge impact every single day, and this is one of the most rewarding aspects within the construction industry. On top of that, the skills you learn can bring you with your normal, once again, on top of that, the skills you learn, you can bring with you in your normal everyday life. You will have skills that you will need to fix or build things around your own home. Ultimately, this will lead to saving you money. Plus, you'll be able to pass these down to your future kids to make sure that they have the ability to be self-sustaining as well. Also, we have a work-life balance, or what I like to call it, work hard, play hard. There's a huge variety of careers that offer different work-life balances. As a career in construction may require 60 to 70 hours a day, but ultimately, when that project ends, you're going to get possibly 2 to 3 weeks off until the next one starts if you would like to go take a great vacation. Or you can also pursue something more towards the normal 9 to 5, 40-hour-a-week office environment. With that being said, the opportunities are endless. It doesn't matter how you get started. Anyone who begins their careers here can climb to the top of the mountain, and I encourage you to give construction a valid look. There are a lot of different opportunities with real-world applications, and growing up, I used to love to learn about the different types of buildings and materials that went into building them. And, maybe in a different life, I could have been an architect, but nonetheless, the opportunities here are real, and I encourage you to take a deep look into the industry. You can make plenty of money and make a real difference in the world. Hopefully, this will help you pique your interest and learn to pursue this a little bit further. So here's my contact information on the screen. If you've had any questions during this video, please reach out. You have my email, my phone, and just let me know if you have any questions or concerns. I'm here to help you answer any of those, as well as provide, any insight into what you may have provide you with any help that you may have into the construction industry, answering those questions for you. So I just once again want to say thank you for the time to watch this video. I hope to help you pique your interest, and I hope that you choose a career within the industry.